Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Untitled Wrestling Podcast. It is Tuesday. You know what that means. It is me, your boy Big Tasty, joined by Faye and Jay, and it's a bumper episode tonight. We've also got Troy. What's up with you, Troy? You're the like, sort of semi-guest. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm keeping busy.
Yeah, you've been
Uh,
busy with the wrestling, haven't you? Like a lot of
yeah,
wrestling.
Yeah.
getting about a lot, filming a lot of stuff. It's been a lot of fun. But
Probably
yeah,
spent far too much time around tape main first for it to be considered
yeah,
normal.
yeah, it started to rub off for me a
Oh no.
bit.
Won't be having any of that.
I mean, before we started this recording, he did just scream Troyness' greatness in Jay's face. So, you know.
Oh God.
Can confirm.
But yeah,
If,
all good. Always nice to be back on.
Faye, how are you?
Yeah. It's my first day after a week off. So
Oh,
I'm just I've just been buffer wheeling
that's
all
the bad
day
one,
while
isn't
I
it? That's the
remembered
bad.
how
Yeah, that's the bad one.
just couldn't remember how to do my job really. So, that was fun.
And like the temperature's gone above 20 degrees, which means like the UK just effectively stops working. So,
Ceases. Shut
Not
down.
goth weather. Just not goth weather.
and Jay, how are you, mate?
Too fucking hot.
Grumpy podcast. That's
As
what
somebody,
it is.
as somebody
Even
who
as a-
looks, oh, go
Go
on.
on.
As someone who looks like the fucking Super Furry Animals Golden Retriever video at the best of times. Yeah, how do you cope with the CJ?
Um, I hate it. I hate it so much. Make it stop.
Even as a man of color, I don't like this weather. It's too much for me. Like, I'm not one that needs a tan, but I also can't be dealing with mugginess and sweatiness and clamminess. It's too much. Give me back the winter. None of this nonsense.
Yeah, it's the humidity that gets you in it. It's just like, and your hair, it's probably your lovely coconut scented hair. Like, must be fucking ruined in this weather.
Ah, mate, honestly, if I don't put the leave-in conditioner in, I look like I stuck my fingers in a plug socket. I look like James Brown. So, yeah, I'm struggling. Struggle is real, people.
Right, should we get into some wrestling? Because there's been a lot of it. Do
I'm
you
all
want to?
wrestled out.
Yeah, should we start with some New Japan and just sort of rattle through what happened there? Because that's got implications for a lot of other bits and bobs. It's probably a decent place to start. So we had Dominion at the weekend.
We did.
Did anyone watch it? I saw a few
Yeah,
bits.
boy.
Right,
I need to watch the beginning of it, but I have watched a lot of it.
I will hand
I
over
think
to
I've
you to then
watched it from beginning
to
and
walk us through it briefly. If you'd
I
like
had
to take
a
us.
running commentary via message from Jay as he was watching it. So,
Troy asked me for like a spoiler.
and I
then-
got the teletext version of the entire show.
He got me live tweeting him the entire show essentially. Yeah, I was speaking to a friend of the podcast there, Tom Clark, about this, who just been a guest on a fantasy booking all in. Go check it out on YouTube. And
Nice.
we felt like it was kind of like the turning point for New Japan, like kind of like the starting to get the momentum back from what they had pre-pandemic. They've been kind of stagnating for quite a while. So opening match with Forbidden Door implications, IWGP US title #1 contenders match. Will Ospreay defeated the Murder Hawk monster Lance Archer.
Gasp.
I know, right? And we'll face Kenny Omega at Forbidden Door.
It seems like, so I haven't seen Will Ospreay's Twitter. He seems to have called out the entirety of Canada.
That backstage comments was so good.
I hope it bites him in the arse and like it's like that Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon match where the entire Hart family battered Vince.
The entire of Canada.
It's all the Canadian Mounties there.
Yeah.
I,
The hockey teams.
I hope a Mountie just slaps him.
I hope the Mountie.
I mean, he's still jacked. He was on
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Ring. He's a fucking unit. But PCO just shows up and slaps him around.
Oh no.
No, thank you.
I don't want him to die. Like,
Don't worry about it. Next up, we got Lij in 8-man tag defeating just 5 guys. So it was a team of Titan, Bushi, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito defeating Taichi, Doki, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Taka Michinoku.
5 normal guys.
Just 5 guys.
Just four guys, really, at this point, really, wasn't it?
Well, it was the fifth for each team was in the main event. That's why.
Mm.
but we'll get to that in a minute because there was some interesting.
Obviously we all love New Japan, but this is like a sort of obviously the most complained about part of their booking is that they just shove like really cool guys into massive like multi-man tag matches.
Just get lost in the shuffle.
Seeing like Shingo and Naito just buried in like an 8-man tag is a little
I
upsetting.
mean, the whole point of this tag match, to be honest, was just to kind of like put the spotlight on Titan, who has been on fire since Best of the Super Juniors.
Right.
He was someone I wasn't super familiar with.
Didn't he get to the final?
He did. I'd seen him a few times. He was a surprise contender. He literally won the last match of B Block to qualify, and then he went all the way to the final. I wanted him to win over Master Watto personally, just because he really impressed me. He's very good. I think he's going to be a big player in New Japan.
And he got the win here as well, didn't he? He submitted Taka.
He did. He submitted Taka with his horrible looking leg lock that he does that would make our good friend Andy from Pubs a very happy man. Next up, we had the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Catch 2-2, the team of TJP and Francesco Akira, defeated the Intergalactic Jet Setters, Kushida and Kevin Knight, to become the new 2-time tag team champions. After the match, their corner man, Driller Dan Maloney, did a betray on them.
Never heard of him.
And the bastard son of Woody Harrelson and Hangman Page, Clark Connors, came and formed a tag team with Dan Maloney. And now that Dan Maloney is in the Bullet Club.
I mean, so Clark Connors is like the most cowboy wrestler I've ever seen. Like he appeared on the same show as Hangman Adam Page and was still the most cowboy person on the show.
He literally looks like if Hangman and Woody Harrelson had a baby.
He looks like if someone just watched Dallas Buyers Club and looked at Matthew McConaughey and went, "That's me."
That's my gimmick.
Pretty much. He's very good though. Him and Driller had a banger in the Best of Super Juniors. Speaking of bangers, next up we got what I thought was match of the night.
I need to see this so badly.
Zack Sabre Jr. defending the New Japan World TV Championship against Jeff Cobb. His third defense of the week after one on Ring of Honor on the Thursday, one on Rampage on the Friday, and then one on the Sunday morning against Jeff Cobb.
Zack Sabre Jr. is putting a case together for Wrestle of the Year, isn't he? Like he's building a fucking resume.
Zack Sabre Jr. is my Wrestler of the Week. I'll tell you that much because he's had to be absolutely.
Let's make that a thing.
Yeah, Wrestler of the Week.
Well, I was thinking of this before, like we should, but then I thought, well, everyone's will probably be Zack Sabre Jr. this week because
that's fine.
It's a hard argument, really, against anyone else. This match was phenomenal. Jeff Cobb was matching Zack Sabre Jr. hold for hold, but then powering him around like he was a piece of shit.
Which he is.
The finish was one of the smoothest finishes I've ever seen. So Jeff Cobb throws Sabre against the ropes, goes for the tour of the island. Sabre carries on rotating round and turns it into a crucifix to roll up at Cobb to pick up the win.
Oh, wow.
And it was like smooth as silk. It was fucking incredible. Really good match. Went about 10 minutes. After the first time we fought for this belt, it was a draw, which I didn't know until Ring of Honor. If it goes to a draw, they decide the winner by coin toss.
Fucking hell.
Oh my God, that's chaotic.
So you could lose the belt by a coin toss.
Fucking hell.
I love that.
Which is
and in
why
Ring of Honor, it'd be fucking Jerry Lynn tossing that coin as well, the motherfucker.
This probably explains why Zack Sabre Jr. has been in such a bad mood all week. Next up, we had crowning new IWGP and New Japan Strong Tag Team Champions. Bishamon retain the titles.
They win the titles. So, regain.
Well, you regain them, the ones they lost against.
So these are the ones that Aussie Open had to relinquish, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes. So they've got their second reign, I think, as IWGP Tag Champions and first reign as New Japan Strong Champions.
I like Bishamon. I like them.
Bishamon are awesome.
Though I did have the fear a couple of times watching this match.
What for House of Torture?
Yeah. Like,
I mean, there was a bit where I thought Evil was gonna fucking pull away. Yoshi-Hashi's a liability at the best of times. Like he's just there, isn't he? While Goto's murdering people with fucking GTRs. And yeah, Great O'Khan was just angry
And
the whole time.
And Aaron Henare got to wrestle, which is nice for him.
Yeah, I
Sure.
feel like this was like Goto, Evil, and Great O'Khan, and the liability of a tag team partner.
So it says on my it says in my notes here that I got off PW Torch. Kevin Kelly proposed that they could shut the Forbidden Door on House of Torture and have them be exclusive to AEW Collision.
No. I mean, yeah, sure, do that. Then we never have to see them.
Yeah, so after this, the big talking point was there was a new theme song come on, which was an absolute fucking banger.
So good, wasn't it?
I was proper like raving to it in my room when I was watching this.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
And it just says Bullet Club War Dogs on the screen, and then the android Alex Coughlin straight off getting murdered by Katsuyori Shibata.
Is that why he looks like he's half dead when he comes out? Because he looks like he's just seeing every ghost in the world ever.
He's seen his ancestors. Yeah, he's just been put back together.
I mean, he does look.
He looks terrified.
He does look like a hench Edgar Allan Poe anyway.
Oh, honestly, it was just
maybe that was why. Yeah, they came out, attacked Bishamon, and state their claim for the tag titles. We then got the announcement for the New Japan G1 Climax.
Which...
I've got them all here if you want them.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll
do this Excalibur style. So we've got Kazuchika Okada, Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, Will Ospreay, Tanahashi, David Finlay, Shota Umino, Shingo Takagi, Tomohiro Ishii, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, Hikuleo, Haruki Goto, Yoshihashi, Toru Yano, Kenta, Zack Sabre Jr., Taichi, Eddie Kingston, ELP, Ren Narita, Evil, Chase Owens, Jeff Cobb, Great O'Khan, Aaron Henare, Gabriel Kidd, Alex Coughlin, Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, Yota Tsuji, and from Noah, Kaito Kiyomiya.
It was stacked.
Oh,
Kaito
so good.
Kiyomiya was the guy that slapped the card and found out.
Yeah.
So can I just say, there's obviously one name on this that I'm very happy to see.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm going to cry.
Obviously it's Eddie Kingston. I'm not going to lie, right? When this got announced, I went back and I reread Eddie Kingston's Players Tribune article from a few years back about his struggle trying to make it as a pro wrestler, and listening to him talking about idolizing Japanese wrestling and knowing that the moment had passed him by and he was never going to make it, and accepting that his career was going to end, and then to see him get this, it really choked me up. It was phenomenal. It's so good to see him get this opportunity. I'm so happy for him. If I ever get to meet Eddie Kingston and I don't think the universe is ever going to allow that to happen. I'm just going to have such a lovely time just telling him that I'm really glad that he's got to have these nice things.
That's
man. I think since he started just having all these Kings Road matches against Japanese legends in AEW, they've kind of gone, who the fuck's this guy and why haven't we been using him already?
Yeah.
Why is this guy wrestling like an All Japan guy? Oh, because that's what he spent his entire childhood watching. Okay, fair enough.
Why haven't we got America's answer to fucking Masawa just murdering people with back fists? Come on now.
And he's also facing Kenta in Korakuen Hall as well.
In a completely separate match from the G1, might we add?
Yeah.
Just for reasons, he's probably just angry because Kenta crimed Nick Wayne this weekend.
He's going to backfist Kenta off that balcony. That's what he's going to do.
He probably got a text off Sting saying, "Oh yeah, one of me lads' mates got battered by this fella in Japan. Can you sort him out? Or over there." Now,
do us a favor, pop over and fill him in.
Eddie's like that uncle you just wouldn't fuck with, isn't he?
Yeah, he's that uncle that knows people.
He actually is somebody's uncle. The reason he stayed in wrestling was because he didn't want to disappoint his brother's son. And to quote the man himself, Eddie Kingston got no business fucking being here, and it's fucking glorious.
But yeah, they clearly have big things for him when they had him as the guy to kind of exile Jay White from New Japan.
Yeah,
clearly imagine when he turns up in AEW.
He didn't just win that match; he beat the piss out of Jay White.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was so good.
Definitive, wasn't it?
GBH on him. Jay White.
We were all delirious watching that match because we'd all been at one PW, and everyone went home and watched it.
I just watched it the next day like a normal person. Didn't stay.
No,
up.
I woke myself up to watch it. It wasn't a good time.
Jay White spat on Eddie Kingston and made the gravest mistake of his life. Like Eddie Kingston's going to be like a fucking shade just waiting for him and just showing up every now and again to fuck his shit.
Give me that.
Little D&D reference for you all there. You're welcome. Next up, we had the Never Openweight Championship, and let's talk about two entrances that went absolutely fucking hard. ELP's new entrance was banging.
It was so good.
And then just David Finlay with his new Bullet Club around him, making the first, like he come out and all the new members from the earlier in the night were like flanking him. Driller was like his right-hand man. Oh, it was
Look at my children.
banging.
That's what David Finlay came out like.
And the match itself was fantastic. Like, so good. It went a little bit long, and there was a lot of kind of like fuckery because there had to be. But just after the match where David Finlay was walking up the ramp and like screaming into the camera and weaponizing the Bullet Club, it was like, oh shit, Bullet Club feel dangerous again.
Yeah. This happened last year though, didn't it? Like at last year's Dominion again. It really set a fire under Bullet Club again. Like
I feel like they needed to hit like the sort of like soft reset on it though.
Well, they did because a lot of people, David Finlay was like very much getting labeled as like, oh, he's just budget Jay White. Like there wasn't any excitement about him at all. Like
he's a tremendous wrestler.
Oh, he's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I used to love him with Juice Robinson. Like I thought they were brilliant. But I just think it didn't feel as impactful when he sort of soft kicked Jay White out of Bullet Club. And then it was like, oh, well, don't worry about it because now he's in AEW and he's still Bullet Club.
The thing that's kind of like really sort of supercharged this was them kicking out ELP, which has made ELP like the top like foreign face. And then David Finlay's like the top like foreign heel. And they just elevated these two guys like really quickly, but in a good way where it's like it's something compelling around the mid-card scene, which New Japan always seems to lack.
I mean, if we can throw a bit of Forbidden Door in at this point, I'm just saying, Bullet Club Gold need one more man to go up against Ricky and FTR.
Oh, please, that's what I want. That's what I want.
I would have said ELP, but I reckon it might be David Finlay now.
After he beat up Jay on his way out of New Japan.
I think it'll be ELP.
Yeah.
But Juice is still mates with them.
Because the reason that ELP was sort of kicked out of Bullet Club is because he was still loyal to Jay White.
Yeah, because he was like, hang on, you can't just beat up Jay White and say you're leader of Bullet Club. If you're David Finlay, it's like that doesn't make sense.
Although
don't him and Juice hate each other from the Finn Juice thing. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Because Juice did a betray on him and joined Bullet Club. But one thing that was interesting with that was El Phantasmo on like the sort of like promo was like, oh yeah, I hate Bullet Club, I hate everything it stands for. So it's almost like he's like just completely distancing himself, and he kept referring to himself as being like one man on his own. So
a lone wolf, matchless.
Yeah, all right.
I feel like
no Bullet Club, but what about Bang Bang Gang?
No.
What gang?
Bang Bang.
Bang Bang Gang.
Bang Bang Gang.
What
could be in the Bang Bang Gang. That's true.
It's what Jay White's taken to calling Bullet Club in AEW.
Right, got you. Okay. I thought that was genuinely the name of a faction. Like
it is.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Bang Bang Gang.
Sure.
Sure. What Jay White affectionately calls Bullet Club Gold.
Bang Bang Gang.
It's just him and Juice being menaces.
We're going to talk about it in a bit, but like their live mic on Dynamite was incredible. It was a work of art.
I can't wait for Jay White to get murdered by Ricky Starks this week.
Should we move on then to the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match? Tag team?
Shock horror.
Why'd you say that?
Hiromu Takahashi regained the title against Master Wato.
Yeah.
Apparently
this match absolutely fucked. That's all
it was very good.
Fucking fantastic, yeah. Next up, we had the Never Openweight 6-man Tag Team Championships.
This was
the match that everyone was kind of watching for. Okada, Ishii, and Hiroshi Tanahashi against Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Shota Umino.
Imagine Mox having to tell Wheeler, like, I'm sorry, Wheeler, you can't be in this match. My real son is here.
This match got delayed so much because Claudio's flight got delayed, and then the whole show was Kevin Kelly just getting pissed off that Claudio wasn't there.
It almost became main event. I think that's what he was doing. He was like, I will get this.
He's
to
like,
be the last match on the card.
I'll take the next flight. Yeah, and this is a
Claudio
big deal because
Power
this was Claudio Castagnoli's first ever New Japan match in Japan.
Talk about a guy who's made for New Japan.
Oh,
That every time Claudio was in the ring, it felt cool. Like there was a bit where he's just like brawling with Ishii. He tried to uppercut like Tanahashi's turkey teeth out of his head. And him and Okada were just like exchanging blows. The whole story about this is that Shota's basically like stepping up to the fucking big dog. He keeps calling out Okada, and Okada thinks he's above him. So every time Shota's in the ring with him, he just slaps the piss out of Okada to the point where Okada's like a dad having to fucking like discipline his boy.
now Mox is like, you can't do that. That's my son.
And he was doing it while looking like Red Shoes Shota's actual dad in the eye.
Yeah.
And he like got him to count like the pin, obviously, after him murdering him with a rainmaker.
And then he stepped over. He just stepped over him and made Red Shoes raise his hand. It was like, oh my fucking god!
Oh.
But Okada did one thing wrong, and that was he fucked around and found out. After the match, John Moxley gets on the mic and like, "You say you're the best wrestler in the world. We train with the best wrestler in the world." And then a video package come up of a guy walking through the desert.
That Yuta definitely didn't film.
So Danielson said when he was doing his press conference after Double or Nothing, he was like, "Oh yeah, I've spent a few days. I dragged Yuta with me one day." So I think that few days he spent was filming this because like he was just basically just hiking through the mountains. And he's like
in Red Rock Canyon in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and he just says, "You say you're the best in the world, and you always bring my name up when you say that."
I'm the litmus test.
You want to fight, yeah?
Greatness.
Like, I'm the litmus test of greatness. You're the rainmaker. Well, I'm the fucking desert, and there's no rain coming for you. And then Okada basically said "Forbidden Door" straight after. And I was like, okay, yeah, Forbidden Door's got 2 matches, probably going to be show of the year.
And just like that, a lot more tickets got sold for Forbidden Door.
Yeah, that's what Kevin Kelly said.
Forbidden Door's already sold out.
Really?
Like, they sold it out without any matches.
Oh Jesus!
They opened.
No, I think I saw today they've got like a few like the really expensive like platinum packages left, but like that's it.
Oh no, yeah, they opened like a few more seats after that announcement.
Oh Jesus!
And Kevin Kelly said, I think they just announced more seats, but I think they'll sell out right away. That's what he said.
And they did.
Spoiler, they did.
What I loved about this match, though, right, and it's not even like in the match at the beginning when Claudio came out and everybody fucking knew who Claudio was. That must have like pumped him so much.
The pop that Claudio got was fucking huge.
Yeah.
Claudio got like a fucking Road Warrior pop.
It was so good. Also, Mox and Ishii just fucking trying to see who can hit each other harder and see what happens.
Ishii headbutted Mox so hard that he busted him open hard way.
And then busted himself open as well.
And then busted himself open and then did a press conference where he had 10 cans of beer in front of him.
Didn't Mox like stomp? He did like a lot of shield moves, didn't he?
He did. Oh, he did the triple power bomb.
He did the triple power bomb on, was it Tanahashi?
Okada. Yeah, they put him on Shota's shoulders. It was great.
Mox did a heart attack on Okada as well with Shota, which was cool. What was really cool about the last 2 times that Mox and Okada have wrestled is that they've not come into contact much with one another.
Mm-hmm.
They've done it enough that it's compelling still that when we do get a singles match, everyone's gonna lose their shit, probably at Wrestle Kingdom.
My God, don't. I will lose my shit.
Yeah. And then we go to the main event, which was Yota Tsuji challenging Sanada for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Yota Tsuji is first match back from excursion, trying to do the only person who's ever done this where they've come in and won a belt straight away was Okada. just for reference.
So on excursion, he went to Rev Pro and CMLL. So he's
Yeah, he's been there loads, hasn't he?
Our Andy saw him in CMLL in a battle royal, and he got eliminated immediately.
Oh my god!
And what they made like a really cool like thing of this. So essentially, Suji he attacked Sanada, and then he just fucked off back to Mexico for like 6 weeks, and just did some more bookings in Mexico. He also tried to kind of like take the leadership of LIJ off Naito.
Yeah.
And then when he lost, spoiler alert, Naito took all of LIJ away from helping him out the ring and made the Young Lions do it. So it seems like we're probably going to get an LIJ civil war out of this. I wouldn't be surprised if Suji, Hiromu, and Titan kind of went one way, and then, or maybe Shingo, Suji, and Titan, and then Naito, Hiromu, and Bushi were just there. Yeah, very interesting. This was a really fun match as well. Suji looks like the business. He's very good.
Yeah, he's obviously, a lot of people are very excited about him. He's obviously going to be their next like big thing, isn't he? Like you can tell that from here.
Jushin Thunder Liger said he's going to be a main eventer for the next 10 years. So, yeah.
I mean, he's only 29, so he's got like a lot of career ahead of him.
Yeah.
And the style he works is insane because he's like a big guy and he works like a hoss, but then he's just busting out Spanish flies and shit like that every now and again.
Like
so he had like a little bit of a no, not like Roosh. Don't be silly. there was no unprotected chair shot in this match.
I mean,
silly.
I was just waiting to trigger you with that, you know. Like
I didn't see a single man get choked out with all the tables at ringside.
He's got a big spear, hasn't he? Like a really big spear.
He's got a big fucking spear. That Spanish fly he did was incredible. Like it was so clean. I couldn't believe how like clean it was for a guy his size. After the match, Sanada basically said he's going to win the G1 and pick his opponent, and then kind of indicated it was going to be Taichi. And Taichi even looked surprised by this, which means it's definitely not going to be Taichi. But yeah, that was Dominion. Absolutely fantastic show. I'd go as far as saying it was better than Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, I would have said that about last year's Wrestle Kingdom, last year's Dominion over last year's Wrestle Kingdom as well.
So what you're saying is we should all go to Dominion and not Wrestle Kingdom when we all go to Japan.
Don't say that. Don't say that. I've already booked my tickets.
What I will say is, before All In got announced, I was contemplating doing Forbidden Door, and then obviously All In got announced. I'm very gutted I'm not going to Forbidden Door now because they've announced 2 matches, and I'm like, yeah, that'll be fucking amazing.
I mean, a card of Danielson could be an all-timer, couldn't it?
Yeah, and then obviously they've teased. They were teasing heavily on commentary that Tanahashi's going to go after Claudio's ROH title. They after Double or Nothing, Orange Cassidy called out Zack Sabre Jr. So there's a couple of cool like matches that are sort of in the works.
That'd be such a lovely clash of styles. Orange with Zack Sabre Jr.
You could even put. I know, obviously, like they're gonna try and do it now. You could even, if you wanted to, drag out Garcia and Shibata till Forbidden Door as well.
Yeah,
throw that on there.
I think that's gonna be a Death Before Dishonor.
Oh yeah, it's gonna fuck. It's gonna be so good.
I mean, they've already basically announced Samoa Joe versus Zack Sabre Jr. for that.
Samoa and Joseph.
The collision of the Island Boys, which is just already upset me. Which, if you haven't seen that promo, Zack Sabre Jr. basically says, "Joe, me and you are very alike. We're both from the islands. You're from the island of Samoa and Joseph, and I'm Sheppy Zack."
Sheppy Zack.
Because he's from the Isle of Sheppy. Samoa Joe trying to keep a straight face for it was remarkable.
Who the fuck goes to the Isle of Sheppy?
Zack Sabre Jr.
Zack
'cause
Sabre
that's where he's
Jr.
from.
No, that's where he's from. No one fucking lives there. No one wants to go there.
No one stays there.
Because Zack Sabre Jr. scares them all off.
Right, before we move on then, Troy, any wrestling you want to talk about? Anything you've been up to wrestling-wise?
A few local, little small independent shows, which have been really fun. Wrestling Resurgence and promotion I do quite a bit of work for, certainly on the video side and some of the production and booking. I had a cracking show this past Saturday in Leicester called The Day Resurgence Stood Still.
Top reference, like that.
Oh yeah, I mean they try and get him into most shows, but that one in particular was a good one. But the card was fantastic. Big hospital, which was an absolute joy to watch. My friend Jim Diehart against Will Cruz. Will Cruz, for those who don't know, is a upcoming like young big heavyweight guy, like really fun to watch, really good in the ring.
I said to you at 1PW, Troy, I really like Will Cruz because he's a big hoss who's a face, but he's not a dumbass.
Yeah.
He's really clever in the ring. Like he doesn't like a lot of hosses. Like if they're baby faces, they just like they run into things stupidly blindly and stuff like that. He's not. He's very intelligent when he wrestles, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a fun 6 to 8 minute just car crash, and in the best way, car crash. Just two houses fighting each other. There was
type of house.
there were some complaints before about how hard the ring was, and initially they had a superplex spot planned, but upon how hard the ring was, they thought better of it. I was like, I am going to need to see that between you two, or at least one of you.
Don't need the best part of 30 plus stone coming down on that.
Yeah. Also on the show was Charles Crowley in his ever evolving story in Resurgence, where for those that don't know, he was one half of the tag champions with Clementine. She stepped away from wrestling. He relinquished the belts. And in a journey to kind of refine himself, we're now starting to introduce the members of his family. So his dad was against him this past weekend in the form of a wrestler called Little Legs, for those that don't know. That was a fun 4 or 5 minute jaunt. Man like Darius running the gauntlet against Harry Singh, Tate Mayfair's, and Bullet, which was really, really good. So Darius has been trying to get his hands on Spike for a while, with him being Resurgence champion. Spike keeps dodging him. Spike basically laid down the gauntlet and said, I'll give you a match, but you got to beat these three first. He went through
Can I just say, for that, Spike's promo to answer Darius's one in a car park, he was like, I'm filming this on a phone in my dining room because this is
how much I care.
It was so good.
Yeah. I had the privilege of cutting those together. And as soon as that was sent through, I was just like, he's like, you know how much effort I put into my promo. The fact that I'm doing this in my kitchen shows how much you mean.
It was brilliant.
Really, really good. Spoilers, you'll see his one from this weekend's past show, and it is superb. But yeah, Darius ran the gauntlet. He won it. And then at the end we had the finish of the match. Tate tried to use the knuckle dusters on Darius. Darius moved out of the way, ended up hitting Bullet. Bullet turned on them both at the end and chokeslammed the bejesus out of them, which was a pleasure to watch. Bullet's awesome. Speaking about heavyweights, UK heavyweights, Bullet is fantastic. Absolute mountain of a man.
Absolute sweetheart as well. We had an interview with him at Extreme Fields last year. He was lovely. Lovely
man. There was some tag team action. There was the Moneywood Blondes. For those that aren't familiar, it's Gene Money and usually Elijah, also dressed up as Gene Money. On this occasion, it was Amira, I think, against the team of Big Daddy Falcon and Warren Haystacks. So it tends to be against throwback kind of classic teams. The last one was the Rockers, played by the Greedy Souls. This just really fun, silly nonsense. The Moneyverse, they're calling it, just keeps getting wider and wider and dafter and dafter.
I am going to need to cross over with the Barryverse at some point so they can both just collide.
Make it happen.
If G Money turned up in Wrestleland, I think my head would fall off. I wouldn't know what to do.
Oh, we seem to have lost Jay. What's happened there?
It's fine. Just carry on. You'll pop back in.
He'll pop back in. We then had Mad Kurt defending the Art House Championship. So the stipulation of the Art House Championship is it's basically only defended in multi-person matches. So a minimum of 3 people, basically. Previous holders are, who was it? Alexis Falcon, Man Like DeReese, and Kid Lycos. None of them successfully defended it. They all lost it on their first defense. So the speculation around it was, will Mad Kurt be the first to successfully defend it? He was so confident that he would defend it that he said if he lost, he would retire from wrestling. He won. And that was against Rain Leverkusen, Sky Smithson, and Chocolate Thunder.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really
Best
fun.
boy.
So Mike Bird against Robbie X was just chef's kiss. I implore you, when I've had time to edit and finish putting that show together, and once it's online, to watch it once it goes up, because that's something I'm going to need to see again. They had a superb match.
Robbie X is possibly one of the best wrestlers working in the UK at the moment, isn't he?
Without a doubt.
He is.
Without a doubt.
When we all saw him wrestle Will Ospreay at 1PW, and that was just insanity.
Yeah, so good. And then the main event was Resurgence champion Spike Trevay against Kanji. Again, absolutely superb match. Really, really good. Several ref bumps in there. And a nice little callback from their previous show where referee was involved. And I won't spoil too much about it. Watch it when it's released. But it was very good. The finish is interesting, and I believe it's leading to something quite fun. So yeah, that was the day Resurgence stood still. That was superb. That'll be up online at some point fairly soon to watch. Their next show is As Yet Untitled, and is on August the 12th.
I hope it stays that title, As Yet Untitled. I just hope it stays as that.
That's what we started off as. It was the As Yet Untitled Wrestling Podcast.
That's gimmick infringement.
Did you give them that idea, Troy? Is that what this is?
And then very quickly, another show that I watched and filmed out last week was the PEW Fallen Angel tournament in memory of Nancy Benoit. All-women's tournament, 8-woman tournament, featured Nina Samuels, Lucy Sky, Lizzie Evo, Artemis, Kaya, Maya Matthews, Rain Leverkusen, and Leah Raven. That was really good. And then there was the PW Women's Championship match against Ivy, with Ivy against ZZ. Yeah, really, really good show. That's up on YouTube at the moment. The final was between Rain Leverkusen and Nina Samuels. They did, I think they did it in the NXT UK Championship tournament where it was Tyler and Pete Dunne in the final, and he attacks him kind of the match or so before, so he comes into the final with the injury. They did a similar thing there with Rain Leverkusen. Yeah, she prevailed and won. That was a really, really fun show. And their next show is this Saturday, which features your boy Lance Rivera.
Oh, nice.
Who's the PW men's champion. He's going up against Styx. And so, interestingly, you guys watch Lance Rivera up in Wrestle Island, where is he champion or was champion?
He is still champion.
Still champion, and he's a face there, right?
Days are numbered.
But he's a heel.
He's going to be champion for like 2 minutes.
So he's very, very much a heel.
He's a heel in TNT as well. It gave us like whiplash when we first saw Lance Rivera in Wrestle Island.
Yeah.
And we were getting cheered and we were like, what's going on here?
I mean, he's not just a face in Wrestle Island, he is fucking beloved. Like kids like fucking cry when he comes out.
Really? I've cried real tears over Lance Rivera on several occasions.
So in PEW's hated, and he was before, even more so off the back of their last show where Chocolate Thunder had his big return match. Chocky Thunder went to give him a big embrace and was just like, you deserve to be champion. We were a tag team together. You really, really deserve it. You put in the graft. But why are you associating yourself with this guy called Ryan Taylor, who's his sidekick guy? And then, Lance just super kicked him right in the mush. So people don't like Lance at PEW.
And rightly so. Why would you do that?
But yeah, as I say, their next show is this coming Saturday the 10th, and Lance Rivera's there. You've also got Chocolate Thunder against Brad Matthews. Nina Samuels is there. Smashing Mike's Open Internet Open Challenge. The Untitled, Riley Nova and Bradley Phillips.
Where's Smashing Mike's dad? That's what I want to know.
Smashing Mike, that what?
So at Soft Pro, it was the match I had to leave because it ran so late. Like Smashing Mike and Smashing Mike's dad were both in action.
Oh wow, okay.
That was a thing. Fuck me, it was like
a thing.
It was fun, but it was a fucking drug trip.
Tell you what though, Lance Rivera, like Jay said before, is not having that title for long at all.
No, he's in danger. So he's defending it against RPD. Okay. And Scott Oakman's got a briefcase he can cash in, and then if he gets through that, Casey Payne's got a shot as well, and Warren Banks has got a rematch.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of it.
He can have the match with Warren by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah.
That absolutely fucked. To be fair, that was so good.
Was that the one when Warren came back after injury a couple of months ago?
Yeah. So Warren vacated the title because he was injured when he hurt his shoulder, and then he never lost it. That's why he got a straight up title rematch. And then Casey Payne interfered and like
we got
Casey
Payne.
Yeah.
Because he dressed like the Grim Reaper.
It was so
he came out dressed as Grim Reaper and then like nailed him, and then took his mask off. It was fucking mad. Jay spotted who it was just by how scouse he was when he shouted at him.
It was when he walked past me, and I was like, "There's nobody in this building who's built like
that." Because he put up on Facebook earlier on the day, like, I'm in Wales, so I was like, Casey's not there.
Yeah, and
it was Casey
on the picture. He had the Fear the Reaper in on beads in his braids.
I didn't see that. Oh,
yeah,
that's so beautiful.
He knew what he was doing. He's a fucking menace.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that, Troy. Yeah, obviously, I'd love to do a little either an interview or what I'd love to do something like talk to you about like the process of filming one of these shows because it's fascinating. If that's something you want to come on and talk about at some point, that'd be fucking awesome. Give us some insight. I mean, into like what the day entails and how you go about it all. Because I think it's fucking awesome. I'm so glad that you're getting to do cool shit like this. It's really really cool.
Thank you, man.
I fucking love it.
Thank you.
Should we just rattle through Ring of Honor real quick before we get into AEW? Did anyone watch any WWE this week? Anyone want to talk about anything? Any big story? Any big sort of things happened?
I did
not massively.
We can cover it. We can cover it when we get the news. There's some matches announced for stuff, isn't there? Bits and bobs, but yeah.
I did watch GCW and something massive happened.
Go
on.
There's a new world champion, and he's all heart, baby.
No way.
No.
Blake Christian cashed in the equivalent of Money in the Bank.
The man who was once defeated by a dodgy takeaway from Slater Street.
Yeah. So basically, Rina Yamashita won the Tournament of Survival the night before and faced Masha Slamovich for the GCW World Championship. Well, they were trying to unify the Extreme Championship and the the Ultra Violent Championship in the world. Sorry. And yeah, Blake Christian's music hit like quite late on in during the Cage of Survival, which was essentially wasn't really a cage. It had a cage wall, another which was like kind of leaning, which had like barbed wire on it, and another which had like a pane of glass on it. And then the other side was a scaffold. So yeah, Blake's music hits. Masha's looking for him. Rena nearly wins. And then Masha hits an air raid crash off the scaffolding through like a door covered in chairs and other shite. And it was a nasty landing.
Wasn't Matador, was it?
No, it wasn't Matador. Despy used Matador earlier in the night against Joey Janela, which El Desperado versus Joey Janela in a death match was phenomenal. Go watch that. But yeah, Blake comes in dressed as the cameraman, curb stomps Masha into like the sort of wreckage of everything that she just put Rena through, and cashed in and won the title, and then stood on top of the scaffold holding the belt up. Ryan had an existential crisis. It was beautiful.
Ryan hates Blake Christian so much.
Yeah. Also on that card, just quickly as well, was El Higo de Vikingo versus Ninja Mac in the weirdest episode of Deadliest Warrior I've ever seen.
Vikings versus ninjas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as well as
Age-old
cool-
question.
yeah, as well as a cool 6-man, which was Speedball Mike Bailey and the East West Express versus Jack Cartwheel, Jimmy Lloyd, and Alec Price, which was just really fun.
Jimmy Lloyd was so out of place in that match. It was beautiful.
Yeah, he looked so lost so much of the time because everyone was moving so fast. Yeah,
Awesome.
it was a really fun show.
And yeah, the night before that, Tournament of Survivor was really fun as well.
Yeah.
I didn't see all of it. I saw like a lot of it, and I just saw John Wayne Murdoch like absolutely kill El Desperado with a Canadian off the top through the light tubes.
Yeah.
Which is very upsetting.
There was also a lot of murder boards in Despy's matches because he's a lunatic.
Yeah, one of them was full of 7-Up cans. I was like, "Well, Sprite cans." Like, who the fuck? Why Sprite? Why particularly Sprite?
It was 7-Up.
Was it 7-Up?
Yeah. And then the day before was Sam's Cola. Also, after El Desperado and Joey, Desperado did call out Mox for a rematch, which, yes, please.
Yes, that match was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Matt Cardona got light tube by Mahito, and his back looked like a fucking sieve.
She said, my dick.
Matt Cardona got eviscerated with those light tubes. It was so upsetting.
Yeah,
there was also, on day one, and nothing came of it, just a random fucking crazy monkey sighting of Jun Kasai just showing up and surprising motherfucker and Rina Yamashita. And then he never turned up again.
So yeah, good. Two good ECW shows. Especially if you like your death matches, they were some good ones there. That was
the Cage of Survival 2, to be fair, had a bit for everyone. Like, it had something for everyone. It's a really fun show. Would definitely recommend people checking that out, especially if you got fighters.
We're gonna fly through Ring of Honor because there's a lot on here, and like, we're just gonna go like 2 sentences on each match because otherwise it'll be a real fucking night. And there's a lot of matches, but there were some really good ones. And then we still need to talk about AEW because there's some absolute bangers there. So we'll sort of try and get to there as quickly as possible. So Ring of Honor, starting with the Kingdom versus the Infantry. Yeah, fine. Kingdom just put the work in. They're just a good workhorse team for Ring of Honor. They just put on really good matches all the time. They've made me like Matt Taven, which I didn't think was possible. Next up, Sky Blue defeated Trish Adora again, just like a sort of nice match of Sky Blue against
Trish Adora.
And Sky Blue's really flourishing in Ring of Honor. Like, it's given her like real space to like sort of spread her wings and sort of
One thing that was very cool about Trish Adora that I found out was that as of Thursday, she is now part of the New Japan Dojo.
Oh, great!
Caprice Coleman was talking about. So essentially, like, she's going to be a young lion at the LA Dojo. So
young lioness.
They announced like the first women's class, I believe. So essentially, just
that's wonderful to see.
Stripping down to your gimmick to basics was Caprice Coleman said. So just black boots, black gear, and you get told what your moveset is. And
you work on suplexes and Boston crabs forever.
Yeah, and then once you get really good, then you can go join Bullet Club, apparently.
That's definitely how it feels, isn't it? Like,
next up, then, quite an interesting one. Stu Grayson teaming with the Righteous, Dutch and Vincent, to take on the Dark Order.
I fucking love this story. I am so invested.
So yeah, for someone like Troy, if you've not been following Ring of Honor, so Stu Grayson returned to AEW and rejoined the Dark Order.
I know that,
and he was immediately then sort of scouted by Dutch and Vincent from the Righteous, and they've been trying to get him to join. Yeah. And I don't know what they've been like saying stuff to him after matches and stuff. And here he was actually going up against Dark Order. He ended up hitting Nightfall on Evil Uno for the win, and then Vincent tagged in and stole the pin.
The way he did it though, where he was like, he was hesitating and then he went, "You bastard," and then just did it.
Yeah.
And then he looked torn up that he'd done it. And Vincent just tagged in and pinned him. And then, like, they made a really good analysis where Stu was walking down to the beat of the Righteous music. Like, because obviously Vincent comes out and he's like clicking to it. And Dutch, like, does something else within the rhythm of the music. Just kind of adds to that cult vibe. I think the Righteous are one of the coolest acts in Ring of Honor right now.
Yeah, they're really having a good time.
Dutch is one of the most underrated big guys like around. He's so fucking good.
So they're in the Righteous versus House of Black.
Spooky.
Spooky Squared.
The aesthetic of that alone, just because obviously the Righteous wear all white and then House of Black and all the spooky shit.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Next up, Diamante defeated Promise Braxton. Again, just a nice little match of Diamante to show what she can do. She's another one who's
Brilliant, isn't she?
really flourishing with a bit of time. They give them in Ring of Honor that extra little bit of exposure is doing her the world of good. Yeah, that was fun. Brian Cage on Willie Mack. Brian Cage and Willie Mack have fantastic chemistry. I don't know if it goes back to Lucha Underground and they just know each other from there. But they've wrestled in AEW. They've wrestled a few times over the last sort of couple of months, and they've always had good matches.
It goes back to PWG. Ian Riccaboni said that they've actually been like unofficially feuding for the last like decade.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is like the third or fourth time I've seen them like this year, and they've all been good matches.
Yeah.
Because they had a match on, I think it was on Dark first, and then that was so good. They got a rematch on like Rampage, and that was good. And then they've ran it back here, which is excellent.
Is this the second one they've done in Ring of Honor? I feel like it might be.
Maybe.
I feel like they might have had one on like.
I want Mac Attack versus the Embassy now. Give me Willie Mack and Ninja Mac versus the guy who tried to sell Troy workout subs.
Oh God. Wasn't Willie Mack in Impact for a while? Wasn't he part of like the X division for a while?
Yeah, he was also like he did something with Rich Swann, didn't he? He was in a tag team with Rich Swann.
That's it. Yeah. He's cracking.
Yeah, next up then, again, as we spoke about it earlier, Zack Sabre Jr., Mr. Work Rate, taking on Rocky Romero for the television title.
This was so good.
Yeah, remember like every now and then, because Rocky Romero doesn't wrestle all the time, and then he has a match, it's like, oh shit, yeah, Rocky can go.
Yeah.
Just needed that little reminder.
He's really done it in Ring of Honor as well, though, hasn't he? Like with the past few matches he's been having in there.
Yeah, because he's been sort of like the gatekeeper, hasn't he? So like he's only ever stepped in when someone's been like a real prick, and he's like, right, I'll come and sort you out.
There was an absolutely grotty submission move that Zack Sabre Jr. did here, where Rocky got him like in an armbar over the top rope, and as like Rocky was breaking it, Zack like basically just like grapevined his body and bent his knee around the rope, and then just like got the full 5 count basically. And as he broke it off, some guy in the crowd was trying to be a smart ass and went, "Oh, Bryan Danielson does that better." And Zack Sabre Jr. really loud went, "Oh, shut up, dickhead!" It was so good. That match though was tremendous. Again, talk about Zack Sabre Jr.'s big week, where he's just had banger after banger. And speaking of guys having bangers, Action Andretti and Darius Martin against the Workhorsemen.
So the Workhorsemen, the Workhorsemen, legit one of my favorite tag teams in wrestling.
Hey, when Dante's back, Shane Taylor's going to crime the fucking lot of them, isn't
he? Yeah, so the Workhorsemen have teamed up with Shane Taylor in Ring of Honor, which is just tantalizing. I've got the sheer beef of JD Drake and Shane Taylor in the same team.
I like that Shane Taylor's got like so many people in Shane Taylor promotions though. Like he's got like Silas Young and JD Griffey as well, hasn't he? Just there if he needs them.
Just waiting, just waiting in the back just in case.
Just if you need a really angry old fella to just beat the shit out of someone, you got Silas Young. Or if you've got like an absolute like finesser like MMA guy to just kick the fuck out of people, you've got JD Griffey. Or you've got like the best of both worlds with JD Drake and Anthony Henry, who are just one of the best like tag teams AEW Ring of Honor have at the moment.
Yeah, they're so good. They're so consistent. Like Anthony Henry's I love JD Drake, but Anthony Henry's such an underrated wrestler. Next up, we had a squash match. Kip Sabian, Butcher and the Blade took on Bryce Saturn, Jacob Austin Young, and Shogun. Basically, a 30-second squash.
Mm-hmm.
Butcher and the Blade just powerbombed the Christ out of someone, which was nice to see. Then we had
Kip just laughed.
Yeah,
look pretty on the outside.
I like this tag team of just like delicious himbo Kip Sabian with his dead hard mates.
Yeah. I need him and Crowley in a ring like as soon as possible.
Next up, we had a shade of things to come on Rampage. We had Bandido, El Hijo de Vikingo, and Commander taking on the Spanish Announce Project and Jack Cartwheel.
Because why not?
Yeah, because all of the flippy please in one match.
Flips.
We don't need gravity. It's fine.
Jack Cartwheel in particular was fucking awesome in this.
Yeah, I love the fact that Bandido was just a hoss in this match.
Yeah,
he was, and also every time like Jack Cartwheel did anything that Luther like couldn't understand, he just scream at him.
next up, a match that no one thought we'd ever see, and no one really knew we wanted until like probably about 3 months ago. ROH Pure Title, Katsuyori Shibata defeated Alex Coughlin.
That's
Like,
what made him see all the ghosts.
Yeah, this is what
Shibata literally like kicked Coughlin so hard in the heart that like Coughlin joined the Bullet Club. Like that's how hard he kicked him, and like, it was just awesome. Like Shibata's whole thing is that I'm just gonna make you use all your rope breaks really quick. So if it does go to a time limit, I've already got the advantage. But then I'm just gonna make you suffer for the rest of the time until I feel like I should put you away, which is what he did.
Yeah, and then the main event, Athena versus Kira Hogan for the Ring of Honor Women's title. Really good back and forth match. Kira Hogan lost via roll up with a handful of tights. Then they had a huge fight at the end. I love the bit at the end where Kira Hogan, like there was security trying to separate them, and Kira Hogan got like a little bit of space. She went for a super kick, and Athena just pulled one of the security guards in the way, and he took it in the face.
I love
Athena
that.
is meant for this title, isn't she?
She is
so
having
fucking good.
such a good time in this title reign. I am so here for it. It is phenomenal.
I love they made a really good point where they said like Athena demands matches, and sometimes like management say, "Oh, that person's not ready for like a title match." So she says, "All right, well, they can have a championship like proving ground match. If they beat me, they get a title match. If not, I get to beat the piss out of them anyway," which is what I wanted.
Everyone's a winner, apart from her opponent.
Yeah.
Athena came out looking like she wanted to fucking murder Kira Hogan here, and then she just like murdered all the security guards at ringside at the end instead. Yeah, Athena's making a real good argument for the rest of the year for me as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
I
having a
was
great time.
just thinking that.
Putting in the fucking mileage.
Yeah, right. Again, we'll zip through a bit of AEW. We'll try and gloss over things here because we're trying not to get too in depth because there's still a fair bit to talk about. I mean, it's going to be a good show when your opening match is Blackpool Combat Club, that being Claudio, Moxley, and Yuta versus Bandito, Penta, and Rey Fenix.
Such a good match.
Remember back in the day when AEW was just like, here's a banger match to start off with for no reason, and it's like, yeah, we're back to that again. Special, I can't remember who it was, but Bandito had someone up in a delayed vertical suplex for like 30 seconds.
It was
It
Yuta.
was Yuta. Well,
because Bryan Danielson was like ranting on commentary while it was happening.
Yeah, like this was tremendous. The more I see of this, the more I realize like we need Claudio versus Penta to just happen.
Yeah, it was Tom Clark, wasn't it, the other day? He was saying, I think it was when you were on his podcast, yeah, he was saying like, we're going to look back at this era of the Blackpool Combat Club being a thing, and like we're not going to know what we've got with this until it's not a thing anymore. Like we don't know how lucky we are to have these guys in this group doing these matches like just on the reg. It's fucking ridiculous.
Also, every time they do it, you get Bryan Danielson on commentary, which is a treat in itself.
Just screaming like at the violence that unfolds before him.
What better way to kind of make up for us losing Regal on commentary than Danielson being an absolute fucking menace?
He even calls Excalibur Man in the Mask sometimes as well.
Someone on Tumblr was like, I can't wait for him until the day he calls Excalibur a scrumptious vegan muffin or something like that.
A delicious apple tree sperm.
Yeah, BCC rule.
Yes.
And Yuta gets the pin again as well, and because his new finisher, which is just I elbow you loads and then I put you in the seatbelt.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Wheelie Yuta is better than Kenny Omega. We've established this.
He holds one pinfall victory over Kenny Omega.
Yuta 1, Kenny 0. Yuta would have kicked out of the One Winged Angel if Kenny had a hit with it as well. We all know that. It's fine. We know it's.
I mean, Kenny wouldn't even hit Yuta with it because he knew he'd kick out. So that's the thing. Kenny was protecting his own move.
If we all stay really quiet, we could hear Nat screaming in the distance.
Next up, we'll talk. We don't want to talk too much about backstage stuff, but we'll talk about this one because it's important. Alex Marvez interviewed the Bucks and Hangman. Obviously, a lot of emotions here, Faye.
Kenny's not in Canada. Kenny's
out of the country, but he's not in Canada.
I bet he's in Wembley.
Yeah.
He's just in the fucking Nando's in the Millennium Dome, just having a fucking slap up meal.
He's
Scouting
putting
out for all in.
He's
Putting
just
pictures of Will
burning,
Ospreay up going, don't save this man.
he's just burning down Will Ospreay's local Nando's.
The best bit of this promo was Hangman going, "We're still standing," and then Matt Jackson immediately trying to stand up and going, "No, can't stand," and then sitting back down.
Yeah.
And also, there's obviously the Dark Order have got some abandonment issues with Hangman because he basically just fucked them off for
They
the
left
for the
because
Young
they had
Bucks.
toilet
The Dark-
troubles. Have you not seen BTA?
The Dark Order are having a fucking terrible time of it. Hangman's fucked them off. Stu's fucked them off. It's all the fucking Young Bucks' fault.
Yeah.
Leave my boys alone.
Well, not even the Young Bucks, just men with like floaty
just
jeans
Matt
and
Jackson.
tassels. Well, no, just men with floaty jeans and tassels. You've got the Bucks and you've got Vincent. They're all dressed the same, just Vincent's like if the Bucks discovered weed. Like, yeah, we then got FTR calling out Jay White and Juice, and Ricky saving the day. I can't wait for this.
Can we just one, appreciate how awesome Switch and Juice are on the mic, given that live mic, and two, appreciate the optics of Juice hitting Dax with a roll of quarters.
Oh, that looked amazing because the way the coins just exploded off Dax's face. Juice Robinson is like if you look up scumbag in the dictionary.
No, Juice Robinson is a Muppet, possessed Muppet, but Jay White is the greasiest rat man you've ever seen in your life.
Greasy rat man.
Yeah, him and CM Punk, like they're just rat men.
Men of rodent.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of CM Punk, Charles Montgomery Punk, Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Tony Khan's big announcement was that Saturday Night Collision will feature CM Punk, which is the entire internet had known for about 3 weeks. But here we
The
go.
crowd, though, like you were expecting,
that was a split reaction
cheers
on the West Coast in Bucks country. That did not go down universally well with the crowd.
And then the camera panned to someone, like to 5 people booing fiercely, and then cut away really quickly.
Find somebody in a Punk shirt real quick.
I think that's kind of the idea, isn't it? Like,
yeah, because even on commentary they were like,
well,
"Oh, you know,
like look at
mixed reactions."
Look at the way they did it with like the Elite when like 3 weeks after they come back, they were in Chicago. So
and Kenny bit Pat's arm.
Yeah, and like.
Well, I mean, the Elite are always working. Like the last thing on BT this week was the Elite getting contract offers from Wendy's and Chili's.
Yeah,
yeah, like
Matt Jackson's gonna do that so well. He's not gonna fuck it up. It's fine.
Are you gonna tell me for a second that like they're not gonna play into it all as much as possible? So when they eventually realize, oh yeah, we probably should have that match, it's gonna be white hot wherever they do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good.
Like, look at it this way: if they do this right and they were to announce like at Wembley All In 2 next year, back at Wembley, main event, FTR and Punk versus the Elite, that'd sell it on its fucking own.
Yeah,
because it's like it's the biggest money match in wrestling right now. They know exactly what they're fucking doing.
Yeah,
they're just hoping. They're just hoping they can all fucking work together to fucking get them to the finish line.
To get them there, yeah.
That's the real thing. Punk keeps his mouth shut. The Bucks stop fucking chatting shit on Twitter all the time about it.
I don't think either of those things are going to happen.
just like I mean, Kenny... all we need then is for water to stop being wet, and look,
they've already made positive actions forward. They've got the video game coming out, so Kenny's fucking preoccupied. And then they've got him like about to crime Will Ospreay again. So he's
where's Kenny? Oh, we locked him in a room with the new video game. We haven't seen it for 4 days.
Yeah, he's not actually in Japan. He's just in his room. Like, fine.
We bought him Street Fighter 6. He's just busy. He's round at Woodsy's house. Woodsy's keeping him out of trouble. And then he took Dax's podcast off him, so he can't say anything fucking stupid. So all in all. Yeah, and then they seem to have like good kind of. It's weird calling Juice Robinson a mediator in this, but they've got like mediatory figures involved in the feud currently.
What I love is that Bryan Danielson's meant to be a mediator figure, and he's just murdered
Brian-
the young buck, like at
Brian-
all,
Brian
in
Daniel-
Double or Nothing.
Ryan Danielson's a fucking menace. All he does is like take the piss out of Danhausen for how much he can lift.
So saying Brian Downs like a mediator, that's like in The Simpsons when Homer has that boxing match and Marge is like, "Where's the fight doctor?" And like Dr. Nick's like on the side of the ring screaming like, "Kill him! Kill him!"
Yeah, that's what he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, next, let's talk about this because this was fucking cool.
This really rando triple threat match. It was actually really good.
Yeah.
The first of two very good triple threat matches that AEW put on. Trent Barretta versus Swerve versus Big Bill. You say it was rando. There was like a story from it, obviously from the Battle Royal where Trent sacrificed himself for Orange Cassidy's sins.
And I tell you what, man, Big Cass is putting the work in, man. He's looking
he
good.
is.
He looked fucking great in this, and
he got his own entrance music for once.
Yeah, that stomp he took on the
ring
apron was fucking horrible.
Yeah,
as well.
It was.
Fair play to him. But yeah, I want Swerve versus Trent. I want Swerve to then crime Chuck Taylor. And then I want Swerve and Orange to run it back. Yeah, I know we've got Swerve and Orange next week, but I want them to keep coming back to this because Swerve and Orange's chemistry is fucking incredible, and so Swerve and Trent's.
Yeah. Next up, then we had a really lovely, quite emotional
Mama's
Chris
home.
Statlander promo, which was awesome. Yeah, apparently, like actual word on the street is like everyone backstage was made up because everyone really loves Statlander because she's like dead lovely, and like everyone backstage was really happy that she got the title. So that's quite nice to hear, isn't it?
She's just great, isn't she? Like she's been so unlucky with injuries. Every time she's felt like she's been like their next big like star. Like we were talking about it when it was like a couple of years ago when there was obviously everyone was like, oh yeah, there's no depth in the women's division. Like you've got Chris Statlander right there. Like she's the person you fucking hitch the wagon to. So it's cool to see her. Like obviously she had that star making performance of beating Jade as comprehensively as she did as well. And then now she's like a fighting champion.
Even more importantly than that, she was there's a clip of her from the AW video game where she was skateboarding, and then she actually had a house show, got on Darby's skateboard, and was like, "Yo, look, it's just."
I saw that.
It was lovely.
Also, shout out to Darby who did a sort of lion salt onto his skateboard and stuck the landing.
It was amazing. Wow.
Yeah, I saw that clip,
which was incredible.
Yeah,
Darby shouldn't do half the shit he can do.
No,
Darby's he's trying to do as many things before he dies on Mount Everest.
Before he dies at the age of like 35. Because his boat, he just like he won't even die. He'll just like crumble to dust when he gets out of bed.
Nat said he's going to be one of those bodies that you use as a marker up the mountain. He's like, oh look, there's Darby Allin. You've got 5 more miles to go, boys.
Do you think just so we know it's Darby, they'll like paint the half of his skull like face?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right, next up, we had 2 interviews. We had the Acclaimed basically saying they want to get Billy Gunn a title before he retires, which is quite sweet.
That was lovely.
Yeah.
So
they're going after the House of Black again, which is good. I'm quite happy to see that feud continue. I'm looking forward to that. Then we had, I mean, fuck me, the heat. Don Callis and Takeshita come out to like legit nuclear heat.
I've never heard anyone be booed so loudly in my life.
The Cinnabastard as a heel's fucking great in it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Takeshita cut a promo in Japanese, which was awesome.
I didn't know how much the world needed heel Takeshita until now. And
I can't wait for him and Ibushi.
Oh, he's going to need Kenny Omega's face off his fucking body. It's going to be fantastic.
So
he's going to beat Kenny so bad Ibushi's going to come. That's how good it's going to be.
What I liked about this was Don Callis basically said about Takeshita, he's better than Rikidozan, Antonio Inoki, Akira Maeda, Kenji Muto, and Kazuchika Okada. He stopped short of saying Ibushi's name.
Ibushi, yeah, he did.
Which I think is incredible, like very, very, like obviously the sort of very.
It was the whole like thing when someone said in an interview to him like, "Oh, what do you think of Takeshita?" He's like, "He's just an imitation me. He's not even good."
Even though he helped train him.
Yeah, even though it's his and Kenny's wrestle son, but don't worry about it.
And El Generico's, he's one of the orphans.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Next up, then, remember that guy who tried to sell you workout subs? Troy, he's back.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Bishop Corn and Toa Leona taking on Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy. Fun match. Obviously, Darby and Orange win because
Orange Cassidy already probably the official Untitled Wrestling podcast rest of the year.
He's been
Just
on
based
a
off the
fucking,
last like 6 months.
He's been on a fucking certainly the first half of the year. He's built a mighty case.
If he can stay fit and more importantly, once he loses that belt, stay active.
Yeah.
He's pissed it. He's had such a fucking good year.
After the match, the Mogul Embassy come out. Remember the other guys in Mogul Enterprises who they just fucked off out of nowhere? And Swerve literally just said they were shit. We got rid of them.
Yeah, it was so
Binned them
good.
off.
He left Parker Boudreaux in the car with chicken nugs. That's a canon thing. Seeing as
He went for a carton of cigarettes and never came back. It's fine.
Yeah.
Literally, like the canon thing was Parker Boudreaux like posted a picture of him sat like in the driver's seat of a car with some chicken nuggets and saying waiting for Swerve.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
3 weeks later, he was off telly.
Have they binned him off entirely?
I think they've just sent him somewhere to get good.
It wasn't working with him and
Trench
with Swerve. So
okay. Is Trench got the tattoos all over his face?
Yeah. So
they weren't ready.
No.
Okay.
So they basically had Swerve just buy the fucking Mogul Embassy, or buy the embassy as a merger, and then now it's the Mogul Embassy.
Yeah, and now you have Prince Nana and Swerve together, which is just fucking incredible.
Most
And
important
pretty
question:
balaclavas.
when are we getting more Rick Ross?
Yes, false accusations.
False accusations.
We need that again. That was just the best thing ever.
I feel like Rick Ross isn't allowed back after he called Keith Lee a big motherfucker.
On live TV.
Live on television.
On live
television.
So
it's fine.
When it was like a couple of weeks after fucking MJF did the F word, and then it was like, yeah, we can't be doing any more swears, and then Rick Ross,
Chuck Taylor
big
just
motherfucker.
Crying. Chuck Taylor's just crying backstage at this point.
Yeah.
Chuck Taylor will get a shit on television one day.
See, after the match, Embassy come out the attack, but it's Sting. Sting's back, and he comes out.
It's Sting!
I mean, at this point, he literally just comes up so Tony Schiavone can scream that, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's okay.
I like how Sting's like ditched his trench coat, and now he's got like a proper dad coat.
Yeah, he's getting
Dad coat? What's he wearing?
He's got like a little pensioner, like waterproof. It like cuts off at the waist.
A little Peter Storm Rain Mac.
You know exactly what I mean. Like a summer waterproof that like old people wear to keep.
The sweaty ones that don't ventilate properly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you mean.
You come out with the Sting branded one of them. It was dead cute.
He's waiting for him. He's waiting for all in because it's just going to rain loads. So like,
he's just wearing it in, ready for his trip to Wembley.
If it starts raining on Sting's debut, Sting's entrance in Wembley, that'd be cool as shit.
Picturesque.
Yeah, it would.
Everyone with their branded Sting Max.
Yeah, everyone get you
Get your Sting ponchos out, kids.
Yes, that's it.
Poncho.
Along with your maybe they'll be like the consolation prizes in the raffle. That's clearly gonna happen.
Tony Schiavone just sticks his hand out. It's spinning.
Amazing. Next up, then we had Jungle Hook back. Remember Jungle Hook?
Yeah.
Is that Jungle Boy and Hook?
Yeah, cool. They're having beef with La Faction Ingo Manale.
Yeah, they're in so much fucking danger.
Yeah,
they aren't fucking having beef with the big cojones. I don't know where the fuck Roosh is. They've just got Preston and Dralistico, who are already certified killers.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh yeah, Roosh isn't here right now.
While we've been recording this, they've just announced that Wednesday it's going to be Jungle Hook versus Preston and Dralistico in a Tornado tag match.
Nice.
You announced that on Rampage, didn't you?
I don't know. I just seen it on Twitter before. Rampage, my head was gone watching Rampage. We'll talk about that in a second.
Roosh is just like waiting somewhere, just patiently like ready to murder somebody.
Got the cord in his hand.
Probably Jungle Boy again. He's not finished with him. Didn't get to choke him with the cords.
Next up, good little Tony Storm promo. She's really, I think she's really a really awesome champion. And if her and Jimmy Hayter just fight each other forever, I think I'm probably okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony can kind of ride the whole. Oh yeah, Jamie's not fit enough to get to Wembley. So when Jamie does fucking surprise motherfucker at Wembley, the
Well,
pop's gonna be
she was cutting this promo today saying on this show saying like, oh yeah, I'm going to be on the house show because that's what a real champion does. They wrestle all the time, and she's like taking little shots at Hayter being too hurt to go, and like saying, oh yeah, no, I'm going to be on every show. I'm going to be wrestling all the time, which is interesting to see a heel champion be like, I'm going to wrestle all the time because no,
rather than I'll wrestle when I want.
Yeah,
yeah,
which is quite nice.
Well, it's what Jamie Hayter did, wasn't it, when she won the belt off Tony?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to be a fighting champion. So it's trying to
twist Jamie that back on her. Yeah. Speaking of new champions, Chris Statlander has just won a champion, so she's contractually obligated to defend against Nyla Rose in her first title defense.
This was
really fun.
Because Nyla Rose is the Lance Archer of the women's division. It's like whenever you win a belt,
I miss Nyla Rose.
You have your first defense against Nyla Rose. But it was a fun match. Taya was watching on a monitor backstage. I don't think Taya's finished with this whole title scene, which is interesting. Chris Statlander versus like slightly unhinged heel Taya Valkyrie is something I kind of want.
Taya's much better as a heel anyway.
Yeah.
She just is.
She tried to fucking kill Aubrey. That's like, you don't do that.
Yeah, you don't do that and become a face, do you?
Like, you know who else said that? Karen Jarrett.
Yeah. Ugh. Oh god. Yeah, but so obviously Statlander win, full match. Yeah, great. Yeah. Nice to see Nyla on TV. She should be on TV more. Please put her on TV more.
I'll just say something very, very quickly. As someone that doesn't watch AEW all that much, I jump in every now and again, but don't pay a massive amount of attention. What's really nice to hear, and what one complaint was maybe a year or so ago, was the women's division. And it being spoken about in such like a positive light and so much going on. And I know you mentioned earlier, like a lot of people said there's no depth in that division. But even within this last 15, 20 minutes, like the amount of people that have been mentioned there and just being like, okay, like there's quite a bit more focus on it. And there's a wealth of talent there that sound like they're all starting to be presented kind of properly. They're not just kind of in the shadows. They're not on dark or anything like that. Like there seems to be a lot of moving parts.
Do you know what happened there, Troy? They signed fucking Tony Storm.
Yeah,
and people will take the piss, but they signed Saraya, and like I know Saraya is not everyone's favorite because she's got problematic people in her life and whatever. But people have always said for years and years we need a storyline in AEW, a women's storyline that's not about one of the titles. Mm-hmm. And they signed Saraya, and all of a sudden, boom! Now you've got a storyline that's not about one of the titles, which is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, Saraya, Tony Storm, Jamie Hayter,
Ruby
Soho, adding all those onto like, Chris Statlander coming back, as Jay talked about. It's amazing to see the transformation in the women's division over
and
the last 12 months.
As well.
Shida popping in and out. Riho has been sort of there and thereabouts.
Also,
Yuka Sakazaki's just moved over to America full time.
Also, one thing as well, which I think's really benefited AEW as a whole, is the fact that with Ring of Honor, they're allowed to give like, I say allowed, that they're able to afford the time to actually give like a lot of these like women who like need a bit of time to kind of develop a sort of presence on TV.
Yeah.
Look at what we just talked about, like Sky Blue, Kira Hogan, Diamante, Athena. Awesome. Yeah. All written up in Ring of Honor. And say this very quietly. Layla Hirsch, she's coming back soon.
Ooh.
She's legit.
It'd be so good though to like imagine
she was feuding with
Statlander.
She was feuding with Statlander and she got injured, so they put that feud back together. Boom, we're cooking. It's gonna be fucking lovely.
And also Jordan Grace is now a free agent.
Yes, she is.
And Mercedes Martinez.
Don't you threaten me with a good time.
Let's not threaten you with a good. Actually, I say not threaten you. I quite enjoyed this. I thought it was.
I had the fear about this match, but it was actually pretty good.
I thought for what it was, which was Jericho trying to kind of do the whole sort of like sports entertaining thing, which is fine.
This was the insidious tendrils of the Jerichoverse reaching out and trying to grab as much relevancy as possible and haul it into its dark like black hole center.
I thought Jericho and Britt had really good chemistry whenever they were kind of
have a fight.
They're shockingly good together. I want them to legit have a match together.
When Britt put Jericho in lockjaw and Jericho was like selling of it, where obviously she had the arms and she did the thing where she put it to the camera and Jericho's face was like a picture because he was like, "Oh no, I can't get out," and it's like you're twice the size of a Chris. You could fucking easily get out of that. But like the whole like suspending your disbelief
The
of it, and
acting.
obviously, yeah. And as soon as she put it on, and it was only for a brief second, but Jericho was about to tap. Like
So
he,
good.
he was fucking excellent in this Jericho. He's great in things like this.
Cartoon villain.
Yeah. They kept Jericho and Cole apart enough, I think. Where I'm a bit bored of seeing Saraya and Britt, but I wasn't like bored through this match, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Our takeaway from this match is we need Jericho and Britt to have a match.
Yeah. That's an advertisement for Fight Forever, isn't it?
Yes.
You can have that match and fight forever.
Yeah. Adam Cole wins, hitting Jericho with the boom. Please let this be the end of this feud. Let them go on to something else now.
Please.
Let Cole go after MJF once.
Let Adam Cole be free.
Broken.
So apparently, a week or so ago, they were going to cut a promo, and Britt Baker was meant to come in and challenge MJF and tell him that Adam Cole was going to take his title, and they cut it because they didn't want to give away that Cole was going to be MJF's next challenger.
It wasn't even that; it was literally just Britt said, "You're not the only pillar around here to him," and that was it. And they were like, "Oh yeah, that kind of like hot shots what we're doing next," and it
gives it away, yeah.
Yeah, because it was the week before the pay-per-view as well. It makes sense.
So it was like we don't want to make it. Obviously, everyone knew MJF was going to win, but you didn't want to say like, "Look, MJF's going to win," and next it's Adam Cole because why the fuck should you watch the match? Right onto Rampage then. I think this is the best hour of pure wrestling that's ever been put on television.
Yeah, 100%.
I think this is the best episode of Rampage they've done since Punk's debut.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 matches.
As far as like must watch.
Yeah. 4 matches. Match 1. Vikingo versus Dralistico versus Commander for the AAA Mega Heavyweight Championship.
Amazing.
Do you like Gravity? Because there was fucking none of it in this.
Because luchas don't.
Yeah, my favorite bit of this match was Dralisco and Commander were on a table on the outside, and Vikingo went to do his over the top rope sort of spin and senton onto the table. And as he was setting up for it, Dralisco just fucked off the table. He was like, "Nah, mate, I'm not having this."
Like when Samoa Joe does the nope and just like that. Fuck that.
He just got up and walked off, and I was like, okay.
So this was in San Diego, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you could tell like how close to the border it was because
really
the crowd were rabid for this match in particular. But the whole show they were like, this was the perfect thing they could have opened this with because everyone was super excited for the rest of the show.
All of them playing with no clip mode.
Yeah.
And you've got to think as well.
All of them full momentum all the time, just like max finishes, you know.
Yeah, with this as well, you've got to think about how energetic the crowd was, considering that they've probably just filmed Dynamite just before it as well.
You've just seen a Chris Jericho match, right? How do you wake everyone up? This motherfucker right here.
Yeah.
Watch these 3 guys.
I'll show you exactly.
Yeah, but this was awesome. Obviously, Vikingo wins. You reversed a powerbomb attempt into like a little roll up.
Close though.
Yeah, it was a really good match. It was so good. It was just so fast paced. It was ridiculous. Yeah, love it. Next up, we had, as Jay mentioned before, Aubrey Edwards getting into it with Karen Jarrett. I love that. So Karen Jarrett and Aubrey Edwards
tried to choke her. It was great.
So they start having beef, and then out of nowhere, Aubrey Edwards just grabs Karen Jarrett on the throat and starts throttling her. Which is
I love the fact that like they were like saying, "Oh yeah, Tony Khan's going to suspend us and we're going to sue the company." And then Mark Briscoe was like, "Oh no, I've had a chat with Tony. That's not going to happen." And then Jay Lethal tried to say something like, "Shut your mouth, Jay Lethal." And then just said, "My issues with you and you," to like Karen and Jeff. And Karen was like, "Well, who's going to fight me?" And then Aubrey just come in and started strangling her. So we're getting Mark Briscoe and Aubrey Edwards versus the Jarretts, which is something I didn't know I needed until now.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Mark Briscoe and Jarrett and Jeff can just do the heavy lifting of that, and just like Jeff Jarrett's just an absolute chicken shit heel. He's the fucking best.
Yeah. Next up, then we had second. So this was Championship Friday. No surprise to anyone. Apparently, Bryan Danielson basically helped book this entire show. Him and Tony.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of booking and a lot of creative work. Yeah. Him and Tony are like really sort of in sync, like with their creative process. And so Tony is asking Danielson a lot to help out with the booking. And apparently, this was his idea, was like just have these 4 title matches. So next, we had Zack Sabre Jr. versus Action Andretti for the New Japan strong television championship.
Oh my God. So like even though action like did get like offense on here, it really did feel like, oh, you poor boy, you have no idea what you've gotten yourself in for.
This was just like, yeah, it was like Andretti was in quicksand, and like the more he struggled, the more Zack Sabre Jr. just twisted him more and harder and put him in worse submissions. Like the harder he fought, like the worse position he found himself in.
That bit where he tried to go over the ropes and then Sabre Jr. just like did the just wrapped himself around him like in the ropes. Amazing.
I said on Discord, and I reiterate it here, after seeing this match, I just really wanted a pretzel.
Yeah.
I'm hungry for some twisted dough.
The coolest spot in this match was when Andretti like went for the frog splash and then Sabre reversed it into an armbar. Like, how does anyone think how to fucking do that?
Yeah.
But also the beginning of the match though, where he just had like wrist control for like the first 2 minutes of the match. Like,
do love a bit of wrist control.
Maintain wrist control.
He did bring in the good old Troy knows how much I love this move, the Umaplata.
Oh yeah.
To finish off Andretti, but he did it in slow motion, so it was like you could see the struggle on Andretti's face, and then as soon as it locked in, he just started wrenching it.
It was just like the sort of 5 second like realization that he was utterly fucked, wasn't it? It was just like
and he was like, I give up. He couldn't even tap. That's how bad it was.
He went through like the 5 stages of grief in like 5 seconds. It's incredible. But yeah, this was a banger. Like I'd say this was Andretti's best match he's had in AW so far.
If I was Tony Khan, I wouldn't. I'm not saying I don't think he'll be able to sign Zack Sabre Jr. I don't think he'll leave New Japan, but I would be booking him as often as possible.
Well, he said
now, hasn't he?
He said after Dominion, I'm going to be all over the place. You're going to be sick of the sight of me because I'm going to be wrestling everywhere. Which,
like a fucking rash.
Yeah,
I mean, he's already
Fox. That's who he is.
He's already wrestling in like the biggest like what the fuck match I've ever heard this year in like 6 weeks, which is him and Nick Gage. Yeah, why not?
Nick Gage is not gonna know what happens. Like
Nick Gage is gonna get put in like a fucking octopus and just like start pizza cuttering Zack Sabre Jr.'s shin or something,
just to cut himself out of it.
Start cutting into his thigh with a pizza cutter.
Next up, then, match number 3 and 3 for 3 on great matches. Third title matches for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Willow Nightingale v Emi Sakura. Turns out the secret to a great women's match is just letting them both beat the piss out of each other.
Oh my God. Because Emi was like a fucking lunatic in this, and the crowd like gave her so much heat.
I think since their match with Jamie Hayter, like being on like main telly has done the world of good for Emi.
I think obviously the best way to get heat is to just hurt Willow because everybody loves Willow. So if you hit Willow dead hard, the crowd's going to boo you really loudly.
Yeah, like Lance Rivers super kicking Chocolate Thunder. Same sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
Willow properly channeled Eddie Kingston in this match, though. She really did.
Yeah. This was basically the women's version of Kingston versus Jun Akiyama.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
That pounce that Willow hit Emi with as well was fucking incredible.
Yeah. And the machine gun chops in the corner as well.
Yeah. As well, the fact that Emi just blocked the Doctor Bomb by just slapping the piss out of Willow. Fucking amazing.
Oh, it was so good. Emi hit a Vader bomb. She hit. It was incredible. It was so good. Just go and watch this whole show.
Go and watch it, Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I was getting teletext from Jay on how good it was.
I mean, this show is basically 4 10-minute matches, so it's the easiest watch in the world. It's phenomenal. Next up, then we had the main event: Katsuyori Shibata versus Lee Moriarty for the Pure Championship. And we're at this point now, aren't we? Still, where every time you see Shibata wrestle, it feels like a treat because it's
probably special, isn't it?
Yeah.
They do a really good job of painting that as well, obviously, because he did nearly die. And just saying, like, it's a miracle that he's even able to kind of like do this without any kind of danger to himself.
Well, it's so funny because as you said ages ago, Jay, like his first match back was like no striking, grapples only, wasn't it? Because of like
was that against Zack Sabre Jr.?
It was supposed to be.
Yeah.
No, it was supposed to be.
It was like an exhibition match about a year or so ago.
The first one was just an exhibition, like 5-minute rolling round, and then the second one against Ren Narita was meant to be the same thing, And then Shibata just went, "Now we're having a proper match, fuck yous," and just let Ren and Rita kick the fuck out of them.
And New Japan have not booked them since.
New Japan haven't booked them since because they don't trust them.
Who?
So Shibata.
Shibata, really?
After
he just
that
went-
Wrestle Kingdom match.
He just went, "I'm fine. I'm gonna have a fucking match. You can't stop me. I'm out in the ring at Wrestle Kingdom." And yeah,
I mean,
Tony
are
Khan
you
just
going to go
like-
into the ring and tell Shibata to stop wrestling? Because I'm not.
Nope.
No, because he kicked Ren Narisa's jaw into the stratosphere in that match. It was awful.
But yeah,
Well,
now it's just like
Spoiler alert, he did the exact same thing to Lee Moriarty here.
Yeah, he fucking did.
he kicked him so hard he shattered his soul.
Yeah.
This was really good though, especially because obviously they made a big deal about with the pure rules where if anyone gets involved, they instantly get fired. There's like just a standard for the pure rules.
Wow.
So Big Bill's been the difference maker in a lot of Lee Moriarty's matches leading up to this. So Big Bill was like, "Well, I'm not getting fired, so I'm just going to."
Moriarty had a really good go here. He just didn't quite have enough. Like it's like he just because obviously because he's been taking these shortcuts in his other matches, he just sort of ran out of steam here, didn't he? When it came to the end.
I love how like he hasn't been able to win the pure belt off anyone though, and I think it's painting a good story because he hasn't won it off Garcia. He couldn't win it off Yuta either. So it's painting this really good story for Lee. I think.
You reckon eventually he'll win it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be. I feel like obviously there's like the 4 pillars of AEW that they talk about, which is like MJF, Sammy, Darby, Jungle Boy. I feel like they could do a similar thing with the pure title with like
the pure pillars.
The pure pillars.
Sort of, but only 3 of them. Where it's like Yuta, Lee Moriarty, and Garcia.
Like a teepee rather than a 4-poster bed.
A Triforce.
Like a Stonehenge, like 2 going up and 1 across the top.
There you go.
Yeah, basically the point I was making without the whole pillars sort of like analogy was you could build a division around those 3 guys and then have people like Shibata, like anyone from the LA Dojo, like the likes of Rocky Romero coming as well. Just people who are very good wrestlers just coming in and challenging them, but have largely one of those 3 guys as the pure champion. You can't go wrong. I honestly think the way they're building up Lee at the moment, that he could be the guy to eventually dethrone Shibata. I just feel like Shibata's holding that for quite some time.
Do you think so? Because I am convinced that Garcia's taking it off.
I say that.
Shibata.
They fucking every time they do a fucking Ring of Honor pay-per-view, they just go, let's switch all the belts. Why not?
Yeah, they do, yeah. But I really do think that Garcia is going to do what Wheeler Yuta couldn't. And then I think McGuinness is going to come put the belt on him.
The Guinness.
That's happening. McGuinness?
I thought you said the Guinness.
No,
I knew you meant Nigel McGuinness.
The Guinness.
I thought that was the Guinness.
I think Nigel.
Oh no!
I think
now
Nigel's
it is.
I think Nigel's a little bit too busy curling decks of cards, getting ready to fight Clam Digger Danielson.
This is what it's going to be. It's going to be. It's going to lead up. I told you this, Jay. It's going to lead up to McGuinness and Garcia and Danielson and Yuta. It's going to be amazing. That's what I'm putting down.
Heard it here first.
Yeah.
You
heard it on my all-in predictions if you fucking watched it.
I did. I was very pleased with your inclusion of boisterous behaviour.
Yes. Excellent.
But yeah, I think I personally think Lee's going to be the guy to kind of eventually do it.
I was going to say, after the match, Daniel Garcia comes out and faced off Shibata, didn't he? So obviously that's been brewing.
Because it's like Daniel Garcia put up this great tweet of like the way he does like Shibata's stance in PWG, doesn't he? Like and stuff like that, and that made that feel like a really big thing as well. Just very cool.
Yeah.
Right. That's the end of Rampage. That is probably, like you say, one of the best hours of wrestling television. A single 1-hour shows I think I've ever seen. That is now the standard to which I'm going to hold all of the Battle of the Belt shows because that's what they should be.
That's
Yeah.
what
They should be just like that. Like, here's 4 banger matches, 10 minute title matches, 4 of them bang, like really good. Like, don't need storylines, just give me 4 great matches, 1 show, boom, done. We know you can do it. You've done it there. Fucking do it again every time now. That's what I expect. Tony, fucking listen, dickhead.
Listen up, dickhead.
Listen to Danielson.
If Brian says we need more New Japan belts defended on Battle of the Belts, you say yes, Brian.
You say
Who would
yes,
like
Brian.
who would you like to see? And then let Brian Danielson do all the work.
Or he'll choke you out.
Yeah, amateur.
Amateurs.
Right, we'll finish off the flurry of news. We'll try and get through this as quickly as possible because we are very long here. I mean, this is a bumper episode. We talked about a whole pay-per-view and all the weekly television, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Should we start with some WWE stuff? So, Lacey Evans is now Sergeant Slaughter.
You what?
Yeah.
No.
Lacey Evans is what?
Sergeant Slaughter.
She's defected to the Iraqi army with.
Oh, for fuck.
No, she's just she's doing the Cobra Clutch and she's wearing the hat because army.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Apparently, as well. So WrestleVotes put something up about this, saying when I can get the tweet to load up, that I was laughing a lot when I saw this. What the fuck is it? I'll find it.
You've got about 5 seconds for us to start ranting about something. So
basically,
wisely.
they said that they asked Sergeant Slaughter to be part of the vignette, and he just replied, "No, thank you."
Fucking hell.
Right. Next up, apparently Shayna Baszler basically went to Vince or went to someone and demanded that they be women's tag team champions. And apparently, if you're white, you can just do that, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, apparently if you're not white, you have to leave the company. But if you are white, you just get given the titles and get a program. So
Or stay there and have nothing done with you. Ever. Ever.
So that's a thing.
We had that nice little segment with the Bloodline this week on
SmackDown.
Yeah.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
Really good.
Would you like to tell us what happened?
Roman and Jay had their embrace, didn't they? And it was just like, we're still the ones, aren't we? And he's like, no. And Solo just turns around and just thumbs him right in the neck.
After like saying, you're my tribal chief, but they're my brothers. And then he turned on them and it was lovely. I enjoyed that immensely.
Yeah.
There was that thing a couple of weeks ago where Solo, like, Roman knocked into Solo, didn't he? And absolutely shit himself. Like he knocked shoulders with Solo, and then like turned and looked up and like cowering, and Solo was just glaring at me. He's like,
yeah.
It was like, oh, Roman, you done fucked.
You gone done fucked up.
Either that or like realistically, Roman's done a little bit of politic and going, let's keep it in the bloodline here. Fuck Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense for Jay to take it off him. That's where it started. That's where it should end. Main event, Jey Uso.
I think it makes more sense for Solo, but then I think it makes the most sense for Cody, just given the amount of hype and fanfare they put around him.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen.
Why? He's America's champion.
You don't want Corey to win the belt?
No, I don't.
Finish the story, really just like Chris Statlander did. Quicker.
Finish the story, just like Statlander did, just like Punk's going to.
No, thank you.
No, do not speak that into the universe, Jay.
Nah, I'm all right, thanks.
Don't dare.
CM Punk taking that belt back off MJF. Let's go.
Charles Montgomery can fucking do one.
Crying man Punk.
Finish the story.
Next up, we've got
what else happened this week?
WWE have announced a multi-year partnership with Twitch. Remember when WWE was banning people from being on Twitch? Well, now they're doing it themselves.
I swear to God, if this fucks with the party, I'm gonna fume.
So apparently, WWE announced a multi-year partnership with Twitch that will see the return of the official WWE channel and popular WWE Superstar channels featuring live and exclusive content. In addition to the channel, WWE will debut today a companion sidecast on Monday Night Raw, bringing the WWE universe behind the scenes and close to the in-ring action. That's quite cool.
I hope they have X-Pac on it getting really upset by things that's happening.
I'd have X-Pac on it getting like really high.
Like when he got really upset at like the Hell in the Cell ending of DQ.
Just have
Adam
Xbox.
got-
Just have Xbox just roasting Kane for like 2 hours. That'd be great.
Yes.
But no, that's really cool. Like having like a sort of simulcast thing where you can like maybe see like because like AEW do the AEW like all access, but if that was happening like
Which is
during
great.
Dynamite, so like
Yeah.
during the adverts, you could just drop over and see like, oh, Eddie Kingston just beat someone up. Let's see Eddie Kingston flipping someone off like in real time. Like, oh, let's see like Chris Jericho getting thrown out of the building and being like a diva. Like
Yeah.
that'd be so much
I
fun.
like that. That's a cool idea. Yeah.
Apparently, also the official WWE channel will be a home to other live productions and will serve as an alternative live streaming feed for all of WWE's premium live event press conferences. So all the press conferences will be on there as well.
Okay.
Nice.
It's cool.
A couple of injury related news for WWE. Well, I say WWE and beyond. Liv Morgan is currently dealing with a torn shoulder. Will require surgery. She spoke about that on Up, Down, Down recently. Braun Strowman has just had neck surgery, so that's
fusion surgery. Yeah.
So that's him out for the foreseeable.
Rest of the year at minimum, they reckon. Yeah, rest of the
At
year.
least. Jesus.
And
Saying that, like, how long's Bobby Roode been out for? He had neck fusion surgery. He's been out well over a year, hasn't he?
He's been way like longer than that.
Yeah.
That's it. Trent had it, and he was out for like 6 months, and then came back and was doing destroyers on the ring apron. So you know.
Yeah, it was fine.
There's still hope.
But Trent came back absolutely hench and half the weight of Braun Strowman. And also Lance Archer has been dealing with a torn triceps, which is why he's been missing time from
He just
from
didn't
the ring.
want any sympathy from anyone.
Didn't he put something out? Like he said that he was just
he said basically, I don't want any sympathy from you stupid marks. I've been injured. It's not bad book, and I've just been injured.
So fuck yous.
I can't wait for him to murder MJF. That'll be great.
Ain't gonna happen. That's
a dream.
That's Cookie Monster Punk.
Some nice news. Emma and Riddick Moss have announced they're getting engaged.
Hey,
nice.
Yeah. Ring of Honor. It's a bit of a spoiler, but if you don't mind a little spoiler, it's only a storyline thing. But Tony Khan announced on the recent tapings that Jerry Lynn and Stokely Hathaway are the new board of directors.
Yes, I saw that. Is it only storyline though?
Yeah, it's only storyline.
Yeah.
Tony's still going to be doing everything. But...
I mean, still Stokely Hathaway in an on-screen authority figure.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
He announced it, but then they were doing bits to 3 of them throughout the night. So I think it's going to be the 3 of them.
That's going to be insane.
Maybe Tony was just there because he was there to announce it. Like if he's not there, I'm not expecting Tony to be at every Ring of Honor taping or going forward or anything like that.
Oh, he's well at every Ring of Honor taping. Like this is Tony we're talking about.
A bit more. Ring of Honor news from the spoilers. Also working that Ring of Honor tapings were Rachel Ellering and Teal Piper.
Oh, okay.
Teal Piper.
Yeah.
Teal Piper return.
Keep an eye out for them.
She was on the first.
She was in All In. All Out in the Battle Royal.
She was in the first Women's Casino, wasn't she?
Yeah, Casino Battle Royal. All Out 2019.
Yeah. I had something and I can't find it. So if you can talk while I'm
filibuster.
So Andrade.
Oh, thank you.
That's what he said when he was asked to do a spot on Dynamite.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
That's what he said when someone asked him to lose to Ricky Starks.
Yeah, so apparently that episode of Dynamite a few weeks back when like everyone was coming back and like going to Tony's office, like Thunder Rosa and Miro. Apparently Andrade was asked to do that as well, and he was like, "Nah."
Yeah.
What's wrong with him? Does he not want to work?
He's like, "Do I have to leave my Caribbean paradise?" He put a video picture of himself today swimming with dolphins, so you know.
I mean, fair.
Tart.
Also, another creative pitch for CM Punk is, as well as them saying that they're going to work an angle with Samoa Joe.
Is he gets into a fight with the local ice cream company?
Fight Jay White is just going to be the greasiest fight
apparently
ever.
CM Punk has quote taken a liking to Jay White. Run, Jay, run now.
but CM Punk in the Bang Bang Gang.
Oh God,
oh, Christ! No, just have Samoa Joe fucking slap the Pepsi off his arm and fuck off.
Yes.
So this is one that you're going to be very excited about, Big Tasty. Chris Hero did an interview with our good friends at Grapsody and said that he is not retired. Quote, "If I was retired, there would have been some kind of celebration, a ceremony, a festival. a week-long, month-long thing. No, I'm not retired. I'm currently inactive. I just can't stay away from wrestling in any way. So as I bide my time and wait for the right thing to come back for and start having matches again, I have kept pretty active. I've done a bunch of seminars. I've done signings, of course. Then I dabbled into the world of producing. It's funny we use this term producing, but it's kind of like directing. Directing's probably a better term, but I'm not going to start calling myself a director. When asked to elaborate on whether he'd like to wrestle the likes of Bryan Danielson or Claudio Castagnoli again, he just said, "Never say never."
I just want one. I just want one very brief Kings of Wrestling run in AEW.
Just one.
Just Kings of Wrestling versus FTR.
Just once. Just one time.
Just one time.
Maybe Lucha Brothers as a treat. Just definitely Kings of Wrestling versus FTR.
Wait, we haven't talked about
everyone getting death by elbow, please.
We haven't talked about the fucking horrible new belt, have we?
Which one?
No, we haven't.
Undisputed Universal Championship.
I don't think it's horrible. I just think it's fucking lazy.
I think the backplate's really ugly.
Yeah.
It's overly gold, isn't it? Like
it's like you know when they bring out like mobile phones and it's like here's like the black one, here's like the alternative color one, and here's like the fucking horrible gold one.
Yeah,
it's like that version of that. Apologies to any listeners who's got the horrible gold phone. You done fucked up. Live with it.
So for me, the new, obviously the new heavyweight one, I don't like the design of it, but I like the touches that they've put in that belt. Like I like
little subtleties.
Like where they put like the eagle in, where they put like the
how can a company with so much money have such little vision?
I think it's go on, Faye, sorry.
No, I just think like with that, I think they've made the effort to like acknowledge like the past legacies of the championships, and I do like that. I watched a little video of it on TikTok the other day because this is where I get all my WWE news from now. But they like put up like a thing like explaining like all the little bits on it, and I thought that was really nice. But this new one, it's like they just put like some like gold foil on Roman's like other belt and was like, yeah, done.
And it's not even like gold leaf; it's like the gold that you get on like fucking Quality
No,
Street.
it's foil packet. It's literally like that's what it feels like. Or like a Rolo.
I've heard loads of people speak about it, and fairly, no pun intended, but universally, it is disliked. Disliked. Like, I don't want to get too caught up on like the belt. I think at this point, certainly while it's on Roman, it's kind of it's second nature. I'm a bit tired of it, so I'm not really too asked about what it looks like. But with saying that, I think there was an opportunity there for a complete rebrand of it. And what I said a moment ago about it just being a lazy design, it's the same design as every other WWE Championship or Universal or red one they did or blue one that they did. Like, well, I mean, when did they introduce that initial design? Was it when The Rock had it? And it started from there. That design hasn't changed, and it's just fucking lazy. And I think if you've got the World Heavyweight Championship,
2013, sorry.
Yes, you got the World Heavyweight Championship, the new one they've introduced, and yes, it's not liked by everyone, but I think it's definitely a nicer looking design than this new Universal Championship.
At least it's a bit different.
Yeah, and I think if you've gone to the effort of making something look different there, you had the opportunity to make something different here, and it's lazy. Plain and simple, it's just really lazy.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that they should have just brought back the Undisputed Championship from 2002 because one of the best belts they've ever had. And they only had that for 3 years before they decided, let's turn it into a spinner belt.
Thanks, John.
When you think about that.
John Cena was over the road from my work today, and like I had like an internal panic attack.
What?
Like,
what?
Literally.
What?
So he was filming a film with Idris Elba like over the road from my work. I didn't get to see him obviously because I can't, but like he was there.
No one can.
Like, yeah.
Whereabouts was that?
But yeah, St. George's Hall.
All right, because I was walking up Bowl Street before, and they were filming something on Bowl Street as well.
Yeah.
Someone was filmed something on Bow Street. It's fucking mental.
Mm.
Can we finish off with something that makes me feel really old? And I'm going to read you a
Yes.
sentence that I don't understand any of the words in. WWE partners with iSlide to commemorate iconic wrestlers with custom slide designs.
What's a
What?
slide?
So,
I mean, I know in the traditional sense what a slide is,
Yeah.
but
it's not a kid's amusement. Don't worry. Boston-based footwear company and Shark Tank alum enters multi-brand partnership with iconic wrestling
So like
organization
sliders.
sliders.
and long-time retailer Fanatics. Massachusetts
Yeah,
Footwear and Enter
sliders.
iSlide announced they will officially partner with WWE in 2023. Adds to the extensive list of major league sport licenses, including NBA, MLB, NHL, and MLS. Gives iSlide the ability to create products and collections based on current superstars and former legends. Slide designs will include wrestlers Roman Reigns, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and John Cena. Slides will be available exclusively on the Fanatics website in all sizes, youth through adult, and in a number of colors. Still doesn't explain what a slide is.
It'd be
A
a slider,
slide's
won't it? I'm gonna have to
Sliders, like
a
flip
flip-flop.
flops.
Yeah, it's like a flip flop.
But
Yeah,
instead
it's
of it
flip-flops.
going through
Yeah.
your toe, it
Oh,
covers
it'll be a
over like
Yeah.
that.
I
doesn't it?
hope that they make a Seth Rollins one. It's the most fucking gaudy thing you've
So
ever seen.
currently on their web shop, they are only $37.49 with code. There's
Only
DX,
at £10 in Primark.
There's DX, there's The Rock, there's John Cena, there's The Undertaker, there's a SmackDown, a Money in the Bank, John Cena, Seth freaking Rollins, and Seth freaking Rollins in white, Raw, Charlotte Flair, another Seth freaking Rollins, SummerSlam, DX Army, Stone Cold, Edge, Ultimate Warrior, NXT, God why?
Is it the NXT 2.0 ones as well?
Fucking
so.
best not be.
And
It's definitely gonna
for
be.
Aaron, they've got Shawn Michaels in white or red.
Mental how they haven't got any Riddle ones because he's been wearing sliders in WWE for fucking years. He
that's
lives
literally
in
his
them.
gimmick.
Oh,
Also,
man.
if you use the code BOATS on the Fanatics website for the next 6 hours and 24 minutes, so I'm sorry, it'll be gone before this podcast goes up. You get 65% off site wide, so fucking get on that.
Boats and hose, get in there.
So yeah, if you want some, and they look like you say, Troy, they look like the ones you get in Primark, like a fiver. Like I'm not saying they're not worth $37.49, but I really don't think they're worth $37.49.
I'll show you my ones. I've got some LA Lakers ones, and they look, yeah.
Are they this brand? Are they?
Don't worry about it.
or are they ice load?
That's the ones.
Right, on that note, then I think that's going to wrap us up. Bit of a long one this week, bumper one, a lot of stuff to talk about. Big panel. Troy, thanks for joining us. It was a lovely having you back on, mate.
Yep. Been grand, real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we haven't talked about. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's pretty much sold out. We're going to Atomic Wrestling.
Yes.
As an Brewery this week. So we're going to be talking about that next week. There's some, and did you say there's 1PW this weekend?
I'm working at 1PW this weekend. I think
nice.
Soft Pro as well, but yeah. 1PW card looks fucking banging.
1PW, that's Osprey v Cardona, isn't it?
Osprey Cardona, boisterous behaviour, subculture.
Fuck up Will Osprey.
You know, if you're going to South Pro, can you please bring some dock leaves for me? Thanks.
Rory
Great.
Coilsley with all the nettles, isn't he?
Oh, RPV's in danger, and I've got the fear.
We're getting Rob Drake v Joe Kessler eventually.
We're getting Tony Wright.
We're getting Tony Wright. We're getting Alexis Falcon versus Lizzie.
Yeah.
We're
getting Jack Critchlow in that match as well.
Yeah.
Is that this weekend?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday night.
Oh wow! Oh, okay.
Yeah, midweek.
Nice.
I want to go to Costco.
Are we going Costco again to get get
Yes.
pizza? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
Superb.
On that note, then, that's a great place to end it. We'll talk about all of that and more next week. So yeah, pop back for that. Thanks very much for listening, everybody. As always, stay safe, enjoy your wrestling. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.